Welcome to the Working Man Community Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon T. Check it out. This is where the political meets reality and so forth. And that being said, let me introduce myself. I'm Brandon T. This is Working Man Committee Podcast. We take the aspect from the working man, not these political pundits and so forth. Everybody's got one of these things here, and the conversation always goes, "Hey, they stuck on the right side or stuck on the left side," and they yell at each other from these two aspects, and try to act like there's this big divide and everybody in the middle, because what I'm saying, things that make money also garners the attention of a lot of political experts, as they say. And so, but here in this format here, what I'm saying, uh, I want to, what I'm saying, pull back the cover on everybody. What I'm saying? So with that being said, we talk about the Democrats, we talk about Republicans, we talk the right, the left, and so forth, the differences and the similarities. And you'd be surprised at what I'm saying, the similarities and so forth. But let's get going. So I was scrolling on this thing here, what I'm saying, in the old social media. And it's interesting how, what I'm saying, depends on who you look at, what I'm saying, that the political divide and so forth. And they talk about how things are so different and so forth. Talk about, so well, Democrats think this, and left thinks that, and the right thinks that, and so forth. And then we had this whole big thing with what happened in Utah with uh Charlie Kirk and so forth, and that people create their own narratives to the whole scenario. And the thing I looked at it and thought about in that situation is, I know it's easy to say it could be this political, it could be political this, and try to frame everything into this, what I'm saying, whatever narrative you see. Because I know if you get on, what I'm saying, your social media, and what I'm saying, everybody's got their own opinion of what happened and why it happened, and and who was behind it and so forth. And like I said, and then there was a few things that I thought about, right? That, what I'm saying, was kind of, I'm saying, trying to understand. So the first thing I was like, the incident happened in front of a group of college kids. And so, this college kids age 18 to 21 and so forth happened right there. Nobody was concerned about, yo, these kids just saw these kids were in an active shooting situation. And I've heard no pundit, nobody, not even honorable mention, like, yo, are these kids okay for seeing what they saw in that scenario? Not one time. And so I'm like, man, have we in this country became so numb to a school shooting that we don't care about what happened, who the people, and so forth? So my mind went there. A lot of people's mind went to the actions and so forth. I was like, man, what about these? Said, what about these kids here? And then cascading to all the colleges and so forth. Like, oh, do these kids feel safe? And so I know, what I'm saying. I think it's time to have that conversation. I said that I held back on it. And so that first part there, and then going forward, it was like the whole, what I'm saying. Then we got that. Then like, okay, then watching, watching the public and everybody create their own narrative of what happened and so forth. And I'm like, okay, okay, then. And everything sounds plausible. That's what I think. Everything sounds plausible. I guess that's how people say it. And they get in front of the camera, in front of their phone, and say it. What I'm saying, so sternly, like they know all the background information. And what I'm saying, they make the real faces when they say, "Hey, must be in the or this, and that, and so forth." And then, like, okay, so fair enough. I said, it all sounds plausible. And but really, I mean, like I said, any reason, the more stern you say it, I guess that's a reason to make it sound like it's something. And then, what I'm saying, then a lot of theater got into it. I said, like I said, when anything happens, what I'm saying, I look at, I'm pretty sure y'all working men also. And when I say working men, not politically correct, working men is men, women, anybody out here getting it. So, what I'm saying, you think about, okay, what you it's like Yeah, okay. Political, you like political violence. That's wild. But then I started thinking, was but how political was Buddy? And it's like, not really. I mean, his thing was, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really watch none of his stuff. You know, I seen some clips here and there, you know what I'm saying, especially the ones that go viral. You know what I'm saying? You know, she set up outside and argue with college kids about real complex things and try to, you know what I'm saying, the start line be complex, but then try to, you know what I'm saying, over super simplify it and so forth. And that's the part I saw. And like I said, I don't know what more there was. I know that somehow there was a lot of credit given to I guess whipping the college vote and so forth. I don't know how much that he played in part of it, but I mean, right now he was the whole thing. But I think, like you know, I think Joe Rogan and a lot of those other podcasters had a lot to do with it. Yes, and then two plus the fact that people was kind of fed up with you know what I'm saying, old Joe, Grandpa Joe, and so forth. But so it's like And so it's like, okay, now that, you know what I'm saying, we are here where, you know what I'm saying, narratives are being created and so forth. And then when these narratives are created, who did it, why he did it, so forth, like, okay, with these backgrounds and I'm over here like they did catch the dude alive, they arrested, he's in jail. He can actually say there's no coded messages somewhere else and so forth. We can actually get the real reason at some point in time why he felt the need to do that and what he's a part of and so forth. But it's like at this point, it's like, oh, everybody runs to the camera and wants to make up their own narrative. And I guess whoever can be the closest to right, if that matters, probably not. I think that part of whoever being right about anything, I don't think that is even in the cards. Just like who could say the first, who could say whatever the first and the loudest and the sternest and make the most money off their opinion. I think that's where we at. And the reason I say that it's about the, you know what I'm saying, money. Can I share this with y'all people? I want to share this with y'all. So I want to go to 2016. 2016. That would have been Obama versus Romney. Oh, Romney first time around. Okay, this is one or two. 2016. You know what I'm saying? The last presidential election. You know what I'm saying? That whole election cycle. Total total spend was $8 billion on congressional, state, congressional, and president's race. $8 billion. That's how much was spent. No, no. Somebody gotta get the money. The money gets raised from y'all, you peoples out there, and y'all and there's a lot of business organizations and groups also give money. And it comes up to $8 billion and it gets spent to somewhere. And so I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, you get those ads on your phone, you know what I'm saying, they send a message to your phone. It's funny. Outside of election year, the politicians hate, you know what I'm saying, spam. But during election year, they the biggest spammer. Isn't that crazy? I know, right? They spent $8 billion and $3 billion in the presidential race itself and 5 on all congressional races. That was Obama, you know what I'm saying? Then let's go to 2020 when Trump came in. No, 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 I'm wrong. I'm wrong. My apologies. 2016 was Trump versus Hillary. Yes, Trump versus Hillary. They spent $8 billion. My bad. Okay. And 2020 was Trump versus Biden. They spent $18 billion. Understand that from when Trump against Hillary, you know, so the whole thing was $8 billion, and then they somehow found another $10 billion to go against Trump, to go against Trump and Biden and Harris. You know, so you gotta, you know, no, Trump and Hillary. Yes, so they got $18 billion and spent $7 billion on a presidential election. So they found another $4 billion in that swing for the presidential election. Now, where the money, you know what I'm saying? The money It's like, yo, these political geniuses out here, and they're like, "Yo, gotta get the money." And then how do we get the money? I said, "Just telling somebody to vote, so forth." I said, "Don't get the money. You gotta make it outlandish. We gotta whip people up so much that, you know what I'm saying, they get into a visceral hate of each other, and then we can get the money from them." And so if you notice that everything is so sensationalized. I'm saying, and don't nothing regular happen. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, "Hey, town hall over here," you know what I'm saying, the person tell you how they feel about whatever and so forth. It ain't none of that. It's the extra. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's, we got, you know what I'm saying, the talk, the rhetoric is so at a point where you'll open your wallet. So like I said, for some reason, rage, you know what I'm saying, the visceral of, you know what I'm saying, gets the money. And the crazy thing about it is, you know, they whip you, and they ain't gotta be right about what they whipping you about. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to, you know what I'm saying, to get you upset, you know what I'm saying? You play, hey, you know, they wanna, you know what I'm saying, what was on the big thing is about, you know what I'm saying, boys and girls sports. Okay, bet. Okay, you know what I'm saying, and abortion and so forth, all these cultural issues and so forth. And like, oh, you can say, hey, you know what I'm saying, should boys playing girls sports? No, no, okay, nah. You know what I'm saying? There should be another group for that. You know what I'm saying? If you hey, a boy over here, girl over here, and then in the middle, if you a little unsure about, you know what I'm saying, what you want to do to make it fair, you know what I'm saying, maybe that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. But it turns into, you know what I'm saying, is that or nothing, you know what I'm saying? There's no compromise conversation. And then like with immigration, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, you need to, you know what I'm saying, throw everybody out at one time, collect them all, throw them back out, you know what I'm saying? Because they, you know what I'm saying, they are the worst of the worst criminals. And I do believe that, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of points is that there's good and bad in every group, no matter what. It's good and bad in every group. And so you have done it a certain way, and then it's showing up, you know what I'm saying, uh, here, showing up and doing it the most harshest way, and then using that as a galvanizing, like, "Hey, you gotta love the way I do it," you know, I round up everybody and so forth, or this, or even with the abortion stuff. It's like, okay, do you let people have a choice of what they wanna do or not? It's like, "Yo, you give a choice or not choice." And and so, like I said, we got into all these, you know what I'm saying, all these issues that find their corners and fight out. Like I said, with this last election spent $14 billion, you know what I'm saying? There is no reason to, you know what I'm saying, like, to make things civil and work things out. Because like I said, there's a ton of money in the fight. Because I mean, look at this. We go all the way back to 2000. Remember 2000? You know what I'm saying? The hanging chads and so forth, George and Al Gore and so forth. $2 billion, whole, you know what I'm saying? $2 billion, $5 billion altogether. The congressional races were 3 billion, presidents were 2 billion. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? We're ever gonna get back to where, you know what I'm saying, the spin is low and the political message rise? Nope. I honestly don't, because like I said, at the end of the day, $14 billion. How much that went to directly to salaries of people? Yep. Think about it. How much of that went directly to salaries? Like I said, people we gotta put that into the to the thought process here is that there's a lot of money being made on you not liking your neighbor. Ton of money and so forth. And with that being said, this has been the Working Man Committee podcast. I'm Brandon T. Put your comments in the comments, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.